is an 11 by 15 quarter sheet of Legion, which is the same brand, the Aquarelle, so the multimedia paper. What we did so far was we taped off the edges so we have an interesting border when we put a mat over it. We drew with various pens using Noodler's Heart of Darkness ink. It was a tonal study of a painting by George Inness, an American painter from the 1800s. I believe this painting was called Twilight. So what I'm going to do is, in that border that I'll show on the mat, it'll say after George Inness's Twilight, or Twilight by George Inness. And I just untaped it to take a photo of that step. I clamped it down, retaped it so we'll have that border still. Now, watercolor, we're going to have to be careful on the edges so it doesn't seep underneath the paint. I had to do a little manipulating to get this to lie flat because I did a little bit of drawing with it. Now, painting over over fountain pen ink, and this is a waterproof fountain pen ink and a archival fountain pen ink. However, I have read some reports that it might move some of this pigment around when we watercolor over it. Reason being is that some of the ink might be on top of the paper as opposed to sucked into it, just because of the quantity that I had put down. So if we have that happen, do not fear. I am going to do washes over this because I have it taped down. I could do a little wet wash, but I feel like that's going to seep underneath the edges. I'm going to grab first some raw sienna. Grab a little bit of ultramarine blue. I find that whenever I have painted over pen and ink drawings, I've always been very delicate and gentle with my watercolor washes, as if I'm just slightly toning the paper as opposed to doing a full-on painting. Alizarin. This one had more of a orangey effect, so I might mix some lemon yellow into this. So some more orangey. Let's see if I can get it to flatten. Reason it's the reason I believe it's doing that buckling is because we have the tape down. I could grab some Venetian red. You see that I'm moving some pigment right there. That is, well, it's not pigment, it's dye based, I believe. And there's a dye something mixed in that helps the dye adhere to the paper. All right, phthalo blue mixed with raw sienna for our green. Lemon yellow in there. Red sienna. The rigger. In hindsight, I think I needed cadmium red for this painting. Let's try light red with lemon yellow. Okay, let's take this off and dry it so it can get flat. Okay, when you pull tape off, pull away, just in case it tears. Now, let's see. I'm going to switch to a round brush and try this out. Do another layer of color. Okay. Lemon raw sienna. So it really does look like in the original painting, he might have used like a Naples yellow, way lighter. ultramarine. Light red, Venetian red. Try alizarin and lemon yellow. Light red. Lemon yellow. Lemon yellow. Continuing that red through here. Alizarin, lemon yellow. Now I need a green, lemon yellow, phthalo blue, more lemon yellow. Even this rock has a greenish tint to it. There's even Wash a yellowish green right in here. Try to get another green. Here's a raw sienna green with the phthalo blue. Throw in here for a little bit of variety. Burnt umber, phthalo blue, burnt umber. I think it was just lightning. Payne's gray. Let me do a dry off. There's too much water right here. All this is happening because I didn't wet the whole paper first. I'm not done yet. I might try. Okay, there we go. Few things. Let's clip this back up and see if we can get it to lay flat for us. I found that the Legion brand, the Stonehenge brand that I use, will help like flatten easier than others. And what I might resort to is actually wetting the back of this painting and drying it, and then stretching it from the back once I'm done. So let's bite the bullet. Let's see if we can find our CAD yellow and CAD red. Oh, somebody's in the chat. Hello, how you doing? So I'm going to go with the CAD yellow. And I'm going to find my CAD red. It's going to be a little bit more concentrated. If you're just tuning in. Oh, nice. I'm doing good too. The person that entered the chat, they're drawing and watching. I'm doing pretty good. I don't usually do drawings, or when I do drawings, they're more sketches. And I don't usually watercolor over it. Usually I just exclusively watercolor. But I had gotten this aquarelle paper in. It's multimedia. And I have the fountain pens that I love to use, and I have the Noodler's inks that are light fast. So I did a drawing with it of a painting by George Inness. I'm just doing a study of the tonal values. And then I decided to do a second video with watercoloring over it, where, you know, so I usually don't do a mixed media like this. And the painting itself is of an oil painting, which is quite vibrant. And that's why I'm thinking I'm going to have to lean on lemon yellow and, sorry, cadmium yellow and cad red to get that vibrancy of the sunset. This is my cad yellow. Putting that in there. We do catch a little cad yellow in the water. And then in the original, I'll show you the original that I'm looking at. This is by George Inness. It's called Twilight. And you can see it's an oil painting, sunset, a tonalist movement. So trying to do a oil painting with watercolor is a little rough. Sorry if I'm complaining too much. Oh, thank you. A person asked how old I am. I'm 33. I'm a school teacher. I teach math and physics. I'm certified to teach art, but where on earth are you going to find an art job, an art opening? Especially when you have your degrees. My actual degrees are math and physics as well. So I'm probably will always be delegated to teaching math. However, math and physics, but in the long run, I always have that job security with those two things. For the person in the chat, and for those of you watching, today's Saturday. The Friday, not this Friday, but the Friday prior, the state of Louisiana closed down all public schools due to the pandemic. So I went from teaching all day, then after that, coaching powerlifting and training for powerlifting. And the high school team that I coach with, we were getting ready for the state competition, and everything just shut down. And I also tutor at school and tutor at my friend's house for his kid. And then I do farmers markets and festivals and sell my paintings. So I do all this stuff. I was like super busy, and now suddenly nothing. You know, so it's been a week. I think I've done at least 10 paintings. This is video 62, I think. If you're interested in my other videos, check out Andrew Broussard Watercolors on YouTube. I have like 60 videos up there. I think I did 10 or more in this past week. We usually find a different thing to explore and study in these paintings. And I guess this is satisfying my need to teach. But we'll explore something like a color triad or a two-tone painting. I think most recently was ultramarine blue and burnt umber. Maybe it's phthalo blue in that. I'm not sure. Explore different lifting techniques. We explore different approaches from wet and wet beginnings to just blocking in shapes and lifting out designs. So we do a lot of different stuff on this channel. I said at 33. I think I'm 33. I'm starting to forget. I believe the CAD red and the CAD yellow have more of an opacity to them, and that's what's allowing them to be slightly more vibrant than what I had put down earlier. And I'm curious what type of opaque green I could utilize down here. You see how it sits on top a lot easier. Oh, you tried watercolor once? Watercolor, it's a little difficult at first, but you start finding like techniques that work for you, and lifting and adding and subtracting and whatnot. I used to mainly just do oil painting, but the setup for oil is quite tedious, and having the oils out, and the smells can be a bit much for some people. And I do oil paint, but with watercolor I could have this pan ready and I can just spritz it with some water. It's very easy for me to jump right into it. I don't usually paint in this fashion at all. Usually I use what's called the rigger brush for most of the painting, and I do flat, fast, and loose landscapes. Let's grab this CAD yellow, mix it with ultramarine to see what type of green we can get. And we get slightly more opaque green than earlier. Remember, we're using lemon yellow. But this will wind up covering up a lot of our drawing lines, unfortunately. But, it's an experiment. It's a learning process. I may personally stick to just leaving the watercolor for watercolor paintings and the drawings for just straight drawings. Because these washers are definitely a whole nother ball game compared to what I'm used to. Let's see. Some phthalo. And try that with the lemon yellow, see what happens. It gives a pretty vibrant green as well. And I usually don't layer this much. Let's see. Oh, that sounds like a cool painting. let's see. Okay, let me do a dry off real quick. If you if you have headphones on, be careful. So this warping. Let's see, more of a green. I think next time I'll have to, if I do this ink over, paint over ink again, I'm going to have to be less heavy-handed with the ink, so we can get more color variation. This is the cad yellow. In the painting that he did, it looks like it's mixed with white, and it would lighten up quite a bit right in here. If I didn't have paint there in the beginning and then put that cad yellow there, I think we would have got more a lighter tone. Could also mix what's it called? I could also mix the buff tighten into it to kind of lighten it and give it more body, and that's kind of like a gouache effect. This might be what this is more inclined for, something like this, more gouache. I could also grab the magic eraser and lift those areas and do that, but I don't think, I'm not feeling up to that. Just add more rhythm in this sky. That's what the main focus is going to have to be in this one. The rhythm and the shining through the trees and the reflection. Some red streaks across the sky. Stand up, take a look. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry it off, and then we'll experiment with wetting the back of it to see if we can get it to lay nice and flat. Yeah. So what I'm going to experiment with now is flipping it over, using my binder clips. Taking the Hake brush, wetting the back. The water's not the cleanest, but it's okay. So this will soak water on this side without going through, unless I catch the edges, but I'm trying not to because it'll run on the other side. So I'm wetting this. Let it soak some water. We'll see if we can push it flat. Yeah. Then after this, I gotta go do laundry. Laundry, clean the animal cages, feed the food for the animals, feed the bugs that the animals eat. Alright, I'm just letting this paper absorb the water so it stretches on this side and flatten it. think we're getting our flattening taking place while it stretches. There we go, and then we do a massive dry off. Remove this and cut the body. Okay, that was not really giving us what I was trying to get. I might have to use some physical rolling to get this to get some of these bumps out. And this is a paper that I've never used before, so maybe it doesn't flatten out as well as my other brand. We'll see how it looks with a mat on it. So it's an interesting experiment. I think kind of learned what I was comfortable with and what I would want to do in the future. Yeah, let's we'll sign it right down the bottom. All right. After George Inness. It was Twilight. And let's see. Is that the full name of it? Go into the art book now. This when you're looking for something in the moment. Of course, you're not going to be able to find it. And there it is. Sorry. All right, well, I hope you all enjoyed this experiment. A bunch of links and whatnot down below on the YouTube. If there's anything you have any questions about, any comments, any ideas how I could approach this one differently, please let me know. And yeah, that's it. Hope you all have a great day.